from the McCormick Gymnasium in Fargo, North Dakota. Good evening, everybody. I'm Jed Thomas, alongside of my partner, Haley Buckles, as we get set for North Dakota High School girls basketball action as the Shanley Deacons get ready to take on the Grand Forks Central Knights. And well, folks, we're talking about a game with teams at very opposite ends of the spectrum. Shanley coming in at number 2 in the EDC. Grand Forks Central, on the other hand, checking in last place. This is our last broadcast of the winter sports season for you. It's the end of this basketball season. Both these teams know their place, obviously, by now in the season. But we're looking at a team with nothing to lose here with Grand Forks Central, coming in against a team like Shanley with really everything to lose at this point, at least from a pride perspective. So Central going to be looking to pull off the upset here on Shanley's home court. Haley, I know you got plenty to say here. I do too, believe me. For now, though, we're going to send things down to the PA announcer just for a few minutes, but then don't go anywhere, folks. We got plenty of basketball coming up for you soon.
Good evening, and welcome to the McCormick Gymnasium High School for tonight's Eastern Dakota Conference girls basketball game, featuring the visitors on the scoreboard, the Grand Forks Central Knights, and your home team, Shanley Deacons. Shanley High School would like to remind all fans that we are a tobacco, drug, and alcohol-free campus. Thank you for your cooperation in these matters. Also, the concession stand and restrooms are located south of the gymnasium in the commons area of the school. At this time, we ask that you please rise, remove all headwear, as Father Charles LaCroix will lead us in prayer.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Father, all-powerful, ever-living God, we dwell always and everywhere to give you thanks. We thank you for gathering us together tonight here this evening. We ask you, as always, to be with us throughout the entire evening. Bless us. Keep the players free from injury and harm. Allow them to play to the best of their ability. Reward them for their efforts, and may enjoy the contest here tonight. Let everything we think, say, and do be pleasing in your sight, and when the evening is complete, help us to arrive at our homeward destinations in safety. We pray all this in your Son, Jesus, by the power of your Holy Spirit, your God, forever and ever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem. Tonight's anthem will be performed by Shanley students Haley Jagger and Anna Beauchamp.
Don't go anywhere, folks. High school basketball action is next after a brief word from our sponsors.
This broadcast is presented by American Family Insurance, Ken Craft Agency, Bell Bank, Beyond Boundaries Therapy Services, Butler Machinery, Ed's Marine, the Fargo Jet Center, First International Bank and Trust, Forum Communications, Haley's Hope, Hurley's Religious Goods, Luther Family Buick GMC, Master Construction, Moore Engineering, Network Center, Northern Improvement, Off the Wall Advertising, Robert Gibb and Sons, Sanford, Shields, Taxman, TCI Insurance, and Wolf Steel Construction.
Welcome back to North Dakota High School girls basketball action here on Shanley TV. I am Jed Thomas, of course, joined by Haley Buckles as we're getting set for, well, Haley, a game with a lot of storylines coming into it. You know, we're at that stage in the season where you kind of know where everybody stands. You're tracking a lot of different things, but tell us, what are the main things you're looking for here tonight?
You know, the main thing I'm looking for on the Shanley Deacons side is finishing and going out strong. You know, they're the number one. They have a really good season so far, and I want to see them finish as strong as they can against a team like this. You know, oh, the ball came up and hit us. To see them finish the way they are in Grand Forks Central, I want to, go out there and working hard and rebounding. They've been rebounding really, really well and doing a fantastic job with that. I want to see them focusing more on the defensive side and seeing how they're going to compete against the Deacons right now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there, Haley. And great work. We're going through that as we had basketballs coming towards us.
Yeah, there's one down at my knees. There's one that hit the monitor here. There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, so kudos there. But I totally agree with what you're saying. I think you make a lot of good points about Grand Forks Central. And could you tell us just a little further, maybe what's the state of mind for Grand Forks Central here, coming in here winless on the season? You know, obviously you don't have a lot to lose here. You're playing for pride more than anything.
And like you said, playing with pride. And I think that's the main thing they need to worry about is just going out there and doing their job, not trying to do anything special. A win for them would be huge for their program right now, beating the Shanley Deacons. But going out there and just competing. You know, I know you don't a great season in this and that. You know, a lot of people worry about records and all that. But going out there and having fun and finishing strong, that's the way to go. And the Deacons, like I said earlier, finishing out on top like this season they have been, that's the way they need to come out and perform tonight. Take smart shots, I think.
Absolutely, Haley. I mean, they've been the number 2 in the East all season long. They've taken care of business. Big thing is they haven't been upset, really. You know, there's been games that were pretty evenly matched that they've lost. But they've done a great job beating the teams they need to, which is what you need to do to finish at the top of the standings. Tonight, I don't think anyone's expecting it to be different, but Grand Forks Central, like we said, looking to play spoiler here, we know they can. We know they have the potential, that's for sure.
They do.
Looks like we're about ready to start things off down on the court, so we'll get set down there. And Haley, I know you mentioned it, but Riley Payne definitely going to be someone to watch here tonight. She's been a dominant force all season long, and I don't think tonight's going to be any exception.
Yes, Riley Payne and Olivia Manuel are the two ladies I'd look for the most on the Deacons, and Ashley Genru for Grand Forks Central.
Most certainly. So we're right off the bat looking at a great offensive look here for Shanley that is broken up nicely by Lauren Hillman for Grand Forks Central. Hillman does a nice job getting her arms in the passing lane. Olivia Manuel left wide open for 3, but puts that shot off the back iron, and then the rebound is pulled down by Isabella Whiteside. Loose ball picked up by Huber. Huber now resets, tosses inside to Chrisman. Chrisman pivots around. Not a lot of options. She'll take it in herself, working against Whiteside, flips it up, off the rim, no good, and that loose ball is grabbed by Peck. Peck headed back the other way with it for Grand Forks Central. Manuel with her the whole way. Peck finds her way inside. Now a quick 1-2 to Whiteside, and Whiteside gets the first points of the game.
You know, right there for the Deacons, that was an easy bucket for Grand Forks. To come in, drive in, kick it down to the block, and dish it down on a backdoor cut. They need to be ready for that. And you know, an experienced team like this has to be ready for that. And they answer it right away back like that with the same play pretty much, flashing down the middle and an easy layup there by Kate Usick.
Certainly, Haley, and the one thing I was going to add to that is that basket, I think, was particularly frustrating for the Deacons because they had so many looks on their own possession.
They did. I think a 3-point ball and 2 jumpers, or 2 layups, excuse me.
Loose ball tipped. It looked like it was going to be picked off. Instead, the 3-point shot is up from Myrold, no good. And now Crispin will heave one down court, finding the open Busick, who makes a great read and dumps it off to Payne. Excellent decision there by Busick to give it to Payne. That then allows her to use her body to screen the defender and gives Payne an even better look than she would have had herself.
Yeah, that was a great play there. Good team play to block that screen for her and get that easy shot for Payne coming up the middle there.
And so we have our first foul of the game going against Olivia Manuel. Now to inbound will be Megan Peck.
You know, Olivia Manuel's defense this year has been phenomenal. She's been a terror up front for them. You know, good court awareness, going out there and high energy, gets tips on balls. They're doing a fantastic job this year for how young she is.
In the corner now, Myrold has it. She's going to go all the way across to Hillman. Hillman out top now gives to Peck. Peck back to Myrold on the far wing. She gets inside the arc, driving, bounce pass intended. That time it appeared for Hillman. And now, the ball will go across to Hillman. She shoots for 3
Oh,
and
nailed
drains
it.
it. Made that one look easy as Lauren Hillman gets Grand Forks Central back on top. Here's Busick across to Chrisman. That one's
Tough pass.
poked away and picked up by Hillman. Hillman now sends it down. It's caught by Myrold. Myrold jumper for 2. That won't go, and Riley Payne gets the board. Payne down across the far side. Her ball intended for Manuel, and it's swatted away by Hillman. And Haley, how about the very active hands of the Grand Forks Central defense?
Grand Forks Central, like I said, having that tempo defense right now and playing, with no fear to go out there and play as hard as they can. And they're doing a fantastic job. And I think the Deacons need to slow down and make some smarter passes here tonight. They're kind of forcing some, don't you think, Jed?
I couldn't agree more with you there, Haley, and I don't think this is the start Shanley envisioned whatsoever.
No, I don't think so either. But a good play there and a good bucket by Kate Busick. Kicked it out, went down, drove down, and dumped it right to her.
Yeah, she was left wide open that time, Haley, as now this ball is sent across to Hillman. Lauren Hillman got caught in the double team, but does a nice job getting it away to Myrold. Myrold's ball is intercepted by Olivia Manuel. Manuel into Payne, and that one's knocked away by Myrold. Again, Grand Forks Central continues to swat these balls.
How many touches do you think they have on these balls so far tonight? Just on passes in general, just the beginning couple minutes.
I could not tell you, Haley. It has been quite a few as Kate Busick drains the mid-range 2. Myrold with the bounce pass inbound. Able to connect that time with Giroux. Giroux across to Whiteside. Whiteside with a heck of a pass. Good job on the misdirection, but it didn't quite connect that time with Megan Peck.
Kate Busick was at almost the half-court line when that ball came. She had a great hustle play to come back up and get a tip on that ball, or else that would have been an easy 2 points.
Here's Manuel into Chrisman, and boy, that one about as close to being knocked away as can be, but Manuel and Chrisman tread that line and get the 2. Coming out court, it's Myrold. She goes with the bounce pass to Whiteside. Whiteside, well defended by Payne. Now over to Peck. Peck gets the angle on Chrisman, but we got a whistle. And it looks like a foul.
Offensive foul there.
It will be against Grand Forks Central.
Falls on number 10, Haley Giroux, first person.
And they get Giroux, her first of the evening. Kate Busick now inbounds. Hadley Huber takes it up the court here for Shanley. Huber at the top of the key goes over to Chrisman. Chrisman looking inside. Instead, she goes out to Payne, and Payne will get caught for the travel and turn it over.
Not very often you see Payne traveling there. I think she was just thinking about the play a little too much, getting that quick shot off.
Central could use some points here as Shanley has found a 10-5 lead now that they look to be very eager to expand upon, that's for sure. Hillman with the bounce pass over to Giroux. Giroux cuts inside, working against several Deacon defenders. Could not get the shot to fall, but she does draw the foul.
And she's going to the line for 2.
Kelly Chrisman, first personal, second team foul.
Chrisman picks up her first, Shanley's second in the evening. The sophomore Giroux shooting these free throws. Attempt number 1 is good.
And Giroux is that player that we talked about earlier, the girl to watch tonight. She has great rebounding skills. She's top 10 in the EDC for rebounding right now currently. And just to see how composed she is at the line right now.
Yeah,
a very close game.
Top 10 in rebounds per game and blocks per game, Haley.
Blocks per game, oh yeah, exactly.
So she's a force in the post.
She is.
She did not connect on the second free throw. Here's Megan Peck looking inside. Peck goes out top, able to find Myrold. Myrold, great cut. Shot off the backboard, would not fall. And then Hillman went down, trying to connect that time with, I believe that's Jagger.
Fantastic Euro step right there. That was just great ball wearing, just court awareness, going out there, stepping into the defender and cutting back out to go up for that floater. Unfortunately, it didn't go in, but it was a great play.
Here's Kate Busick now over to Huber. Hadley Huber across to Manuel. Manuel inside looking for Payne. Myrold knocked it away. That pass was just a little off center and allowed Myrold to get her hands in there and swat it.
The defense is doing a really good job at just boxing out and being physical down there. As you can see, Chrisman is working really hard and Payne working really hard down there to get around and see if they can get some touch on these balls.
Quick inbound to Busick. She has that one knocked away. She was looking to give off to Kelly Chrisman, but got caught holding it a little too low. And Haley Giroux was Johnny on the spot to get the jump ball.
Yeah, she is.
Here's the inbound to Giroux. That's a nice job of breaking out as she went
Great
over
way
to
to
Jagger.
break that press.
Pass goes across to Myrold. Myrold, tough angle shot, won't go. Rebound attempt from Giroux, no good. Peck, the third try, didn't fall, but she was fouled.
And that's quite a few rebounds tonight already that Grand Forks Central has gotten off of shots, and they've gotten to the line twice already.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job rebounding both offensively and defensively. And Shanley having a little bit of trouble keeping up with them there as Kelly Chrisman will now check out after picking up her second foul.
And I think they're going to rotate some people in here now and substitute. They may combat that rebounding. We got Mo Kim Harku coming in. She's done a fantastic job this year so far.
Well, it's interesting, Haley. Shanley has really been filling that post position by committee between Mo Hakeem, Kelly Chrisman, and Emily Schrema.
Yep.
Schrema now out with an injury, and Kelly Chrisman in a bit of foul trouble early. It's looking like they might need to rely on Mo Hakeem for a large chunk of this game. Although we certainly know Mo Hakeem is up to the task.
Yes, she is.
She's really proven her worth as the season has gone on here.
She's a very physical player and has great determination on the court. We can see her working down low there, quick shot.
And Hakeem with the spinorama shot that doesn't fall. Ball picked up by Hillman and now brought down court by Peck. Peck working against Huber. In a bit of trouble. Great job escaping, but can't get the finish.
Falls at number 24, Megan Peck. First personal.
So Peck will actually have a foul called on her in that series.
Her first tonight.
And so here goes Kate Busick with the ball. Busick crosses half as Shanley holds a 3-point lead with 12:27 left to go in the first half. Busick behind the back, pulls up for a long two and drains it. And how about Riley Payne with the steal on the inbound, putting it off the backboard and in for two.
A little momentum here for the Lady Deeks.
Momentum has greatly shifted, that's for sure, Haley. Hillman trying to regain some for the Knights, and that's one way to do it. She just drove straight down the throat of that Shanley defense.
Deep pass.
Going back and forth quite a bit here as Huber could not hook up with Hakeem, and that ball falls out of bounds, so Central's going to get another opportunity with the ball.
Fast-paced game we had going there, Jed, don't you?
Yeah, that was about a 30-second burst there of some high-energy play. As now Payne is putting the pressure on along with Huber. The double team had Myrold tied up, and Grand Forks Central forced to take a timeout here as that double team had Myrold trapped. And Haley, 14-9 at this point in the game. What are your thoughts here? Are you a little surprised?
Honestly, I am a little surprised right now. I think, the Deacons are rushing a little too much and taking some passes and forcing them that they don't need to be doing. I think they need to let the play develop a little more and get some better shots down low because they have been getting good looks when they get the ball in the post. And they have been getting clean times when, they come back around for that quick pass. And Grand Forks Central playing absolutely phenomenal defense. Good tip balls, good coverage out there, so they're doing a great job.
Yeah, certainly, Haley, and I think Shanley might be a little caught off guard with the way Grand Forks Central is defending. I think they're maybe expecting a bit of an easier time scoring than they've had, and that has not been the case. Central, and the other thing Central's doing really well, they're doing a great job turning that defense into offense, capitalizing on turnovers. They're not making that defense all for naught. Rapid fire passing here for the Knights, fresh out of the timeout. Not too crisp on that last one, however, as it's going to roll out of bounds. Ball will be turned over now to Shanley as Hadley Huber inbounds. Busick has it out top, and that's where the possession begins. Here's Mattern over to Payne. Payne going to pull up for three. Off the rim, no good. Huber's got it. Huber looked out top to Mattern for a second. Instead, she'll keep it herself. Inside, now she gives out to Mattern. But we got a whistle and a foul going against the Deacons. Offensive foul will turn the ball over.
Fouls on number 31, Mohawk, in her first.
3 seconds in the lane, looked like.
So that's Shanley's fourth at this point in the game. Grand Forks Central sitting at 3. Hillman gets that ball back to Myrold, who runs right into Hadley Huber. Huber took the ball away, but then could not keep it in bounds. So Central will inbound once again, this time with 26 seconds left on the shot clock. As Shanley was able to burn off a little time with that defensive interference. Lauren Hillman now coming down court. That pass too strong. And now it's headed back the other way. Hakeem lobbed one up there trying to get it down to Huber, but it was intercepted. So 2 quick turnovers as now Hillman has it out top. Hillman across, back to Myrold. Myrold inside, able to find Giroux. Giroux now back to Hillman. Bounce pass intended for Peck. Taken away. Here goes Lydia Mattern. Lydia Mattern down the near side. She holds up, trying to slow things down. She got it off to Riley Payne. Payne driving through with force. Can't get the shot to fall. Hakeem on the putback. Would not go, but we got a foul inside.
Hakeem did a good job there going in and being ready for that rebound right away, knowing, Riley Payne driving down and coming in behind her, being that support a teammate needs to be. And a steal here we got by...
Yeah, Haley, that would be Lauren Hillman who got the
Hillman,
steal.
yes.
Could not get the finish, but the foul is called, like you said. Yeah, Hakeem that time just hacks a bit too much of the arm.
Yeah. And now that's 2 on Hakeem and 2 on Chrisman.
That's very true, Haley, and like we said, no Emily Schrema to share that burden as well, so that's going to be something for Shanley to watch. Here is Hillman at the line on attempt number 1, and that's no good. A little too strong off the back iron.
Number 14, Olivia Manuel.
Hakeem will check out after that foul, and Olivia Manuel is going to come back in.
So no bigs in for the Deacons currently.
Yeah, they have a relatively tall lineup. A few of their guards are particularly tall, and so they can move around, as that shot didn't fall, but it's just going to be waved off for the false start. But yeah, Shanley's got a fairly tall lineup overall, so they can move a girl like Riley Payne, who's normally a guard. They can move a girl like Hadley Huber, who's normally a guard. They can take them and move them up and feel fairly confident with their abilities inside. Mattern, great hesitation. Look at the moves inside. Lydia Mattern.
Great footwork there by Mattern.
Put that one on the highlight reel.
Oh, yeah.
Mattern with the fancy bucket. And now that ball is going to roll out of bounds as Shanley's doing a good job at disrupting here. They will say that ball was tipped. Last touched by Shanley.
Back in for the Deacons, number 12, Natalie Heinrich.
Heinrich will check in now for Shanley, as the Deacons hold a 7-point lead with 10:13 to go in the first half. And that pass too high, intended for Myrold. So the turnover goes to Shanley now in Grand Forks Central territory. Here's Hadley Huber. Huber with pressure being put on by Foltz. She takes a step back, goes across to Mattern. Mattern looking at the top of the key, drives inside now. Mattern again with some moves and again gets the finish.
Great strength at the end there with the left hand to go up with a little body coming into her. Good job there at finishing by Mattern.
Yeah, she's just one of those girls who has that touch. Once she gets around the rim, she just seems to know how to put the right amount of force on a shot to get it to fall, as now Central's lobbing a couple up at the basket that won't go. Myrold with a very long 2 off the rim, no good. Going to get her own rebound, somehow works it over to Hillman. Hillman underneath was blocked by Heinrich, but they won't say it's a block. They'll actually say it's a foul underneath. Great compete that time from Grand Forks Central.
Oh, fantastic. And I was, what did they get, 3-4 rebounds, offensive rebounds there? And they get back up to get the foul and go to the line. That is the goal. And they did that.
Free throw attempt from Hillman is no good. That's one area Central's going to need to work on. You're not going to get too many opportunities against a team like Shanley at the line, so you got to take advantage of every trip.
Yes, you do.
Shot number 2 by Hillman, and that's no good as well. Yeah, so 0 for 2 on the trip as Heinrich gets the board, and Kate Busick will bring the ball down court. Here's Lydia Mattern on the near wing. Out top to an open Busick for 3. And Kate Busick, you can't leave her that wide open.
We see Mattern had the opportunity to drive in the middle there, but she kicked it out to her teammate who had a better chance.
Well, and then Mattern and Manuel combine on that play defensively to jar the ball loose. Now Mattern all the way across to Manuel for 3. Off the rim, it does not go.
And grabs a rebound.
And a jump ball will be called down low. Alternating possession means it will go with Grand Forks Central. And it looks like we got a timeout now by Grand Forks Central. Makes sense here, as it doesn't really feel like it, but slowly, Haley, Shanley was able to build up the biggest lead of the game. They do now lead 21-9, so probably a good time for Central to get a stop in play here.
Yeah, I think it's a great time. And one thing I think Shanley is doing a lot better now is their press early on Grand Forks Central was beating that press pretty well by passing the ball to the middle and rushing on the outsides. They've been doing really, really good. And Shanley's been putting the pressure on now and has fixed those little gaps here and there. And they're getting turnovers left and right. And they're capitalizing on those turnovers as well.
Absolutely, Haley. You know, we've complimented the defense of Grand Forks Central, and there's no doubt that it's been good. But Shanley as well has been locked down defensively.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see it in the scores for both teams. It's a relatively low-scoring affair, 21-9, and we're halfway through the first half. So certainly defensive struggle, that's for sure, as now this timeout comes to an end. And Grand Forks Central is going to come out hoping to have some new life, some new energy.
See if they can get some momentum here going in the second part of this first half.
Here's Lauren Hillman trying to cross half here, having some trouble. Gets it over to Myrold. Finally, they do get it across. Now pass goes all the way back to Hillman on the near wing. Hillman out top to Myrold. Those two have played a lot of minutes so far. GFC has a relatively deep bench, but the two guards do not take a seat very often, as now Myrold has Busick all up in her face, and Busick does a great job forcing that turnover as Myrold ran out of space. Pass from Busick out to Mattern. Mattern had to work for it, but now she gets it to Manuel. Manuel trying the hook-type shot that doesn't go, but Riley Payne is there, and she gets the first points coming out of the timeout.
See, that shot there was an early-on shot that was not quite needed there for Manuel. But good job by Riley Payne slipping in underneath there. And another tip by Busick, grabbed by Mattern. Right side.
And Lydia Mattern with the finish.
Well, Lydia Mattern have 6 points and 2 assists already?
Yeah, she does a bit of everything, Haley, you know, kind of whatever they need. And that's how she's made her name on this team. That's how she's earned so many more minutes at this point in the season than she had at the beginning.
The multi-tool.
Yes, she does just a little bit of everything for them. And that's why they put her in the lineup, is now she gets the steal. But a travel will negate that. And that's one of those travels where, sure, you wish it didn't happen, but you're just really happy with the defense they played leading up to it.
Yes.
Peck will come back in for Grand Forks Central, as we're at 25-9 now with 7:41 left to go in the first half. Here's Hillman with the bounce pass inside. Shot for two won't go from Lohman, but now we got a whistle and a foul underneath.
But the rebounding for the Deacons currently still has room for improvement.
It does, Haley, but, you know, I think a big part of that is that they're still sitting their two post players.
That is true. I totally forgot about that.
Crispin and Hakeem.
Yeah, all guards in.
Yeah, and, you know, sometimes, like we said, you can forget that with the height of their guards and their ability in the post.
With Riley Payne, Hadley Huber being around that 5'9"-ish, 5'10".
Exactly. That time, however, Shanley does turn it over, as now Hillman inbounds to Peck. Peck goes back to Hillman, then straight back to Peck, looking down court. And this one's almost intercepted by Huber. Huber sniffed that one out right away and jumped the pass, but was just maybe a hair late as she couldn't quite corral it.
They've been reading these passes really, really well tonight. Telegraph passes.
Hillman, great job. In trouble, she got the pass away, but the travel negates that. And that's frustrating for Grand Forks Central. You can see it on their faces.
That would have been a really good look if she would have just put her plant feet down and sat in right away.
Here's Manuel inside to Mattern. Not a lot of options. Mattern trying to go back to Manuel, but Hillman got in there to break it up. Ball will stay with Shanley with 22 seconds on the shot clock. Plenty of time.
Plenty of time to get a good shot here. Expecting a 3 ball here.
Payne inbounds to Heinrich, who goes out top to Mattern. She thinks about it, then drives inside again. Lydia Mattern with the finish.
Mattern with that driving left and driving right and power dribble. She only takes like 1 or 2 dribbles during the whole time.
Natalie Heinrich jumped that pass very well, but looks like she got a little too much contact, kind of clipped the body there. So that'll be a foul on Heinrich. And they are in the bonus. So Grace Foltz will go to the line to shoot.
A lot of opportunities for Grand Forks on the line tonight.
Certainly, and they have not done the best job capitalizing on them.
Currently, no.
So here's Grace Foltz with attempt number 1, and the attempt number 1 is all she'll get, as she cannot connect on the 1-and-1. So here goes Kate Busick back the other way, over to Manuel. Manuel in the corner, out to Busick, and they're going to cycle this one to Mattern at the top of the key. Long distance three doesn't go, and Manuel is fouled, trying to get the loose change.
Had the hot hand there. She had to shoot from top of the arc.
And you can see on the replay there, Giroux reaches around the back of Manuel. 6:37 left to go in the first half as Shanley is leading 27-9. Trying to make it 30 here is Riley Payne, but that shot was a hair short off the rim. Peck tied up. Uses the bounce pass to get over to Giroux. Giroux then got it up court, but a jump ball was called as Haley Giroux got all tied up there with a couple Deacon defenders. Huber takes her time crossing half. Moves it up the left, then goes back out top to Mattern. Inside to Busick, across to Huber. Hadley Huber for three, and
Nailed
she drains it.
She had Manuel open down low. Really quick there. But she took that shot and cashed it.
Peck got it up to Giroux. Huber couldn't get the steal, but Mattern got it on the second try, and Mattern again continues to finish expertly. And now Grand Forks Central forced to take a timeout. And Haley to start the game, it was even offensively and defensively. Then Grand Forks Central wasn't getting much going on offense, but they kept the defense there. And now, both offensively and defensively, Shanley is starting to work them over.
I think Shanley's starting to click on all cylinders now, defensively especially, and offensively just capitalizing on those, steals they've been getting off and all the tips they've had opportunities to get on the sideline there. They've been doing fantastic. Grand Forks, they just need to keep pushing more. They need to capitalize when they get to the free throw line. That's one area that they can improve on simply by just taking their time and shooting. But they're still within. If you go out and pressure hard now, good defense, and their rebound has been phenomenal. They've been out-rebounding the Deacons. Even though the Deacons don't have their bigs in, they're still getting out-rebounded.
Certainly, Haley. So there are positives there like we talked about.
Yes.
It's just about trying to rediscover them as they haven't quite been there the last few minutes, and that's not the way to start as Riley Payne somehow gets the steal and got rid of it. She was holding that ball behind her legs and still managed to get a pass off as that ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Grand Forks Central.
Great coordination by Riley Payne there to hold that ball like in between her legs and hand it off. It's kind of impressive.
So here's Busick on the inbound. Busick out top to Huber. Now to Busick in the corner. 4-3, drains it.
Second one of the night for her, I believe.
And it looks like we had a collision underneath the basket. Mattern was down on the court alongside of somebody for Grand Forks Central. I can't see a number. And
she seems
looks
to be
like
just a little shaken up.
Yeah, my guess, I did not see the play, but it looks like she maybe caught an elbow based on the way she's reacting. Or
she's up and walking to the bench already, and she's waved to the crowd saying she's all right.
So that's good to see. I wonder, though, if they might not take her off because any sort of contact to the head usually leads to an evaluation, and now they will have her at least take a seat as she's looked at by the athletic trainer.
Kelly Burns.
And I believe that was Myrold. I think that was a 5
That's
down low.
a 5, yes, I believe it is.
So, nonetheless, it's 35-9, 5:30 to go in this half, and we're back to it. Megan Peck runs straight into a double team. Loose ball scooped up by Manuel. Nice job getting back to it by Ashley Giroux. And the ball rolls out of bounds, last touched by Central.
That front defense for the Deacons on that press is just, they're playing their hearts out tonight, getting touches on balls, trapping in the middle of the court and in the corners. They're playing great.
Here's Busick now inbounding. Just gets it out to Huber out top. Huber going to keep it herself. Now she'll go across to Heinrich. Heinrich to Busick. Central staying with them very tight, not allowing a lot of separation. Payne tried the three. It did not go. Busick gets the rebound. Now back to Payne. Floats one for two. Took some contact that time with Jagger, and Riley Payne is going to earn herself a trip to the free throw line.
And the one thing that I love about Riley Payne, she's not scared of contact. She's not scared of going into a play there where she knows she's going to get fouled and take a beating.
And the first free throw attempt is good for Riley Payne. She's had a relatively quiet night, at least by her standards.
Yep.
But these are the ways she kind of sneakily earns a lot of those points. Does a good job getting to the line. That time she doesn't convert on the second, but normally when she's there, she's pretty efficient. As now a jump ball is called, it will stay with Grand Forks Central.
You know, like Riley Payne having a quiet night, that's also good as, you know, being one of the star players of your team, to work on facilitating that ball to other players, work on getting other shots and getting ready for tournament play.
Peck goes across to Giroux. Giroux almost had it poked away. Again, Busick just does a great job staying on her heels and slapping at the back of that ball to knock it out of Giroux's hands. 4:49 left now. Peck with it, holds up at the wing, goes out top now to find Hillman. Hillman across to Peck. Inside to Jagger and then back out to Hillman, back over to Peck. Peck will drive inside for two, off the back iron, no good. And how about this, a 3-on-0 for Shanley, and Kate Busick is the one to finish it. They had three girls who could have done it, as there was nobody back there to defend for Grand Forks Central.
You know, I'm very proud of Hadley Huber passing that ball there, not being a selfish player, because she had the opportunity to just drive down the court and put two in. There was no one there. To pass that back up to Kate Busick, who's just a step or two ahead of her, put that bucket in the left side and get two.
Now back court violation will turn this ball over. So not a great sequence there for GFC, as Shanley's going to get it back with another opportunity to score points. Here is Huber for three. How about Hadley Huber with her second three of the evening?
Hadley Huber and Kate Busick have been lighting it up from behind the arc tonight.
That is for sure. Both really have that three-point range, as this is another turnover by GFC. And that has really been, amongst other things, that has really been what's taken them down here in this game.
Yes,
the turnovers have been very frequent, and Shanley's been making them pay.
They have been capitalizing on every turnover, it seems like.
Manuel collects that loose ball, now goes over to Huber. Huber going to direct traffic. Cuts to the right, holds up, keeps going now. Kicks it out to Busick. Busick open for three, off the money that time. Mattern trying to chase it down, but instead it's picked up by Peck. Here's Peck across to Myrold, now straight back to Peck. Works her way into a double team and gets it back to Myrold. Inside to Giroux, now to Hillman. Hillman driving along the baseline is swatted by Payne. Payne, though, a little too quick to try and get that one off to Huber. Recollects it, though, after the air ball. Sends it down court to Busick. Busick, oh, the hesitation and the finish.
The hesitation there to feel that Grand Forks Central player running up behind her. That little pump fake gets him flying. She gets an easy two.
That ball from, well, excuse me, that ball that Myrold was carrying was poked away there by Huber. Huber gained a little too much of Myrold, and she'll get to go to the line.
8th team foul at the line, shooting the bonus, Maddie Myrold.
Central looking for their first points in a long time. And finally, they do get it. So,
double digits.
Yeah, in double digits now. And obviously, things have just not been clicking offensively for a while, but that is a start.
See if she can sink the second one.
To make it 2 for 2, yes, she does. And that's, again, important to capitalize on those trips to the line.
Chrisman checking in.
Back in for the first time in a while.
A little bit.
Shanley, my guess is they were going to bring her in a little sooner than they actually did, but they did so well without her and Hakeem. They handled themselves so well in the post, they just didn't really need to bring them back in.
Would you expect Shanley to roll some people in here within the second half early on, you think?
That would be my guess. We'll see what kind of a finish Central has to this first half, but my guess is Shanley will start reaching into the bench. They do have a very deep bench that they can use, as now this ball winds up out of bounds. Last touch, though, by Central. Bounce pass from Payne goes to Busick.
Oh, you can't leave her open.
Wide open, and normally, Haley, you're right.
Yeah,
you can't,
I was prepared for that to be synced in.
That time, a rare miss from Busick, as the double team got Giroux tied up. And now the ball is taken away by Chrisman. Chrisman able to find Busick. She crosses half court, goes over to Huber. Huber open for three. Too strong on that look. Great rebound there by Mattern. Over to Huber. Huber again tries for three. No good. Off the rim. Saved by Busick. Out to Mattern. Shanley getting all sorts of rebounds here as Mattern cannot get it to go, but a foul is called.
Multiple people on the floor there. And now we have Riley Payne, who is in pain on the floor.
Yes, Haley, Payne is down right now. And, it's that same spot, actually, that Myrold went down earlier. And I did not see what happened, if she slipped or if she caught an elbow. I, again, think that might have been the case because, there, like you said, there was a lot going on down there, a lot of arms flailing about. And
there was 2 to 3 Grand Forks players on the ground during that possession. And they popped up, and I think she might have slipped an ankle and took an elbow to the head area. And she is standing up.
Well, that's good to see Payne now sitting up. As, yeah, my guess would be just caught a flailing limb somewhere in the melee. But now she's up with exactly 2 minutes left to go in the first half.
It appears she's going to go get checked for concussion protocol with the athletic trainer.
And so hopefully Payne is okay. Obviously, you hope she's okay from any perspective, but from a basketball perspective too, with tournament time just around the corner, this would be a very bad time to lose her.
She did go back into the training office.
So Mattern on this free throw attempt gets it to go. Try number 2, up and away, and that's good as well.
Very consistent play tonight from Lydia Mattern.
Yeah, she's having herself a heck of a game, and again, contributing in really all facets of the game.
You are correct.
And Shanley going to get this ball right back as they continue to just swarm GFC on defense. Kate Busick going to come down with it now. 45-11 our score as Hillman's able to tip that one away. Continuing to have active hands in those passing lanes.
That is one thing tonight they have been key on and focused, tuned in all night. Ooh. Third foul there for Kelly Chrisman, and that was a big foul.
Yeah, again, Chrisman has played so well for Shanley this season, but those are the types of mistakes that you can't be having.
Not
Chrisman,
currently.
just occasionally she has those foul troubles.
Yep.
It's not every game, but sometimes gets into them. And tonight, just one of those nights where she's having her struggles. But here's Hadley Huber reaching out that long arm to intercept the pass. Cannot get the finish, and then a crash for the rebound. I think we'll have a foul here that appears to be going against Shanley.
Just a little too much on it there. As you can see, she was going in to reach out over the player.
And right after Chrisman got her third and took a seat for Hakeem, Hakeem gets her third. And we might see her take a seat. So,
but they did play quite well without their 2 bigs. And as we can see, Riley Payne did sink down. But now Riley Payne is in concussion protocol.
Right. And you do see Hakeem take a seat. So it'll be interesting to see what Shanley does here with a lot of their height now. Unable to play for various reasons.
I'd expect Kate Busick and Hadley Huber to rotate down low there.
And again, Mattern can kind of move into a forward position, usually more of a guard, but she is that versatile type of player. As now she does appear to be in that guard role, and she does a great job finding Busick back door, and Busick gets the finish to make it 47-13 here in the first half.
Busick to put her back into that player to guard herself at the rim there. She doesn't get a foul.
Back and forth the Knights go, passing that ball. And Giroux has that one knocked away by Huber, who continues to be locked down on defense.
Lockdown defense by Huber tonight.
Peck will inbound for Central.
Looking, scanning.
And out top, she'll find Myrold. Myrold with the bounce pass, trying to connect with Giroux. Oh, what a save from Hillman, sacrificing the body to keep that one alive. And then, how frustrating there. Peck gets caught traveling And that's tough for Central. So much effort put in on that play, only to end in another turnover.
Grand Forks Central has been playing so physical tonight, as we can see there on the sideline on top of the screen, as she dove out of bounds, got that ball back in for her teammate. And on the defensive side, they're hitting the ground constantly, and Huber slow to get up here.
As we've got another turnover, you're right, Haley. Huber is limping.
Hands it off, actually.
Yeah, had that ball passed to her, and like you said, handed it off.
She seems to be just maybe twisted her ankle a little bit. She's walking fine.
Yeah, walking with a bit of a limp there back to the bench.
And Chrisman is coming in for her.
Yeah, Chrisman will have to come back on. A bit of an odd series there, so a couple turnovers for both teams. We wind up with Huber down and hurt there. It was funny, Haley. Like you said, she got the ball, and you could see she was kind of like, what do you want me to do with this? I can't really move, but did a nice job handing it off to Busick, who got the basket and gets the free throw to complete the three-point play.
So now here you have Huber out, Payne out, Crispin and Mohawk Kim both have 3. What are you thinking about bigs here going into the second half?
Well, not a particularly bright outlook, Haley, in that second half, as we have another turnover here. Luckily, though, Shanley has been so strong. You know, they've been so dominant inside, even without those bigs. I think they're comfortable putting Hakeem and Crispin in there with those fouls. I think they feel like they've got enough on the bench where if they run into foul trouble, it'll be okay.
Yes.
We'll see here.
And I would expect them to start rolling in some players quite, freakily going into the second half here.
Here's the feed inside to Mattern. Mattern with not a lot of options and the shot clock winding down. Well, actually, the game clock here in the first half as Mattern launches a 3. It doesn't go. Just a second left. Central will hold on, and the buzzer will sound end the first half. At the end of 1, it is 50-13 in favor of Shanley. And here's how we got to that point. For Shanley, it is Kate Busick leading the way by a mile with 23 points. Thanks to 2 threes there and a whole bunch of 2-point baskets. A lot of layups in transition. She was followed by Lydia Mattern with 11, and then Riley Payne with 8. Hadley Huber at 6, also worth noting there right behind. And then for Grand Forks Central, it's Lauren Hillman leading the way with 5, followed by Maddie Myrold with 4. And then it was Whiteside with 2 behind them, along with a couple girls. And so, at the end of 1, 50-13 in favor of Shanley, a commanding lead. But folks, do not go anywhere. We've got a whole second half of basketball to bring to you, so be sure to stick around. Welcome back to North Dakota High School girls basketball action here on Shanley TV. I'm Jed Thomas, of course, joined by Haley Buckles as we are getting set for the second half of action here in this game between Shanley and Grand Forks Central. But before we get back to it, folks, we would like to take a minute to remind you that Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at shanleyathleticClub.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button or become a member if you're not one already. It's easy to become a member, and anyone can join, so sign up today. The Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon Athletics to a higher level. So, just about ready to start things up once again. And Haley, what a dominant first half performance for Shanley, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely phenomenal first half for Shanley. Great job defensively. Their press has been amazing. Olivia Manuel, Kate Busick on top there, getting touches on balls and trapping initially. They've been playing great. The only area where they can work on, we talked about, is rebounding. But then again, they've had no bigs in, and the people they've had in have been doing a very good job. There's just a few here and there opportunities and time at the line for Grand Forks. Grand Forks has room for improvement in controlling the ball and making smarter passes currently. I think that's the main place they need to improve on. And they fix that, and they can come back a little bit.
Certainly ball control is going to be huge for them as they've had a lot of turnovers. So here's Huber.
Good to see Payne back on the floor.
And here she is with the ball, launching one for three, no good off the front iron, and the rebound pulled down by Central. Coming back across with it, Lauren Hillman. Hillman will go across over to Myrold. Myrold at the top of the key, gets the screen, goes in, then out, has to go over to Peck. Peck trying to cut to her left, then her right, goes straight back to Myrold, who puts up the three, in and out, no good.
Deep pass by Chrisman,
just
perfect.
Heaving one, and it was the smart play there from Payne to not force it and try to go to Huber, but before that could even happen, looks like we had a foul.
Great pass by Chrisman, looking like a quarterback out there, dropping it in the bread basket for Payne. Phenomenal. Up top the key here to Huber. Huber, deep three.
And no
off the front
good.
Of the iron.
Yeah, just off the front there, Haley, as Peck will move down with it for Grand Forks Central. Huber trying to jump that route. Here's the bounce pass inside. Whiteside can't get it to go.
Rebound, Busick.
And here's Busick back now to Payne. Payne over to Chrisman. Chrisman tied up. Three girls on her. Now to Huber. Huber across to Busick. And now all the way over to Payne. Riley Payne going to shoot the long two that won't go. Chrisman back out to Payne. Caught up in a thicket there with a couple girls in her face. And now the three ball does not fall. Payne unable to save it.
You know, Payne's been having a little struggling tonight on shooting currently.
Yeah, Haley. She can sometimes be a bit of a hot and cold shooter, and tonight just has not been her night, especially from long range.
Yep.
Luckily for her, though, Hadley Huber and Kate Busick have both performed very well from outside the arc and from those deeper to mid-range twos.
And Mattern doing really well in the mid-range and driving in and getting good opportunities down low.
Ball kicked out and then shot for three from Peck. And how about Peck hitting the first three ball of the evening for Grand Forks Central?
And that was good passing there, you know, kicking it in and out and then dishing it to the corner for a quick three, and she capitalized on that quick three.
And actually, I'm sorry, that's not their first three of the game. It's their second. The first three was actually their second basket of the game.
Oh, that's right. Correct.
That one winds up out of bounds with the foul.
Manuel to the line.
Falls on number 24, Megan Peck. Third personal, second team foul. Olivia Manuel shooting two.
So here is Olivia Manuel for her two free throws.
Sinks the first one.
Checking in for the Knights, number 21, Grace Foltz.
Foltz will come in for Grand Forks Central, and one thing you notice, Grand Forks Central is rolling a fairly deep bench here, comparable, if not more girls actually seeing playing time than Shanley.
Yeah, and they have been, and I'm kind of surprised that, you know, I know Shanley was going to come out with their starting girls initially for the first couple minutes here, and I'm kind of waiting for them to roll some people in here.
I agree, Haley, especially with the injuries Huber and Payne sustained. They each were, now they're both out there again, so
Yep.
obviously nothing too major, but they each were dealing with some injuries there, so I'm surprised. I think you're right. I think in a couple minutes here,
Yep.
we'll probably see, especially those two, probably take a seat.
Yeah.
But anyway, here is Hadley Huber out top. Now to Manuel and then Chrisman. Chrisman going to fire one all the way across to Hadley Huber. She takes a step in, then back out. Now Riley Payne, a deep three, high arcing, does not go. And the rebound's pulled down by Myrold.
Expects a trap here. Good pass. To dish it back out. No one's getting her at the lane.
Yeah, it's a good breakout, Haley, and you're right. Shanley has not done a good job tracking those Grand Forks Central guards as they drive down like that, but they do a good job defending it once they get in tight to the basket like you saw there. So just under 15 minutes left in the game.
Grand Forks substituting someone new in.
Yeah, it appears Aubrey Lohman has checked in here for Grand Forks Central. As Hillman going to go back and forth with Myrold here. And it's funny, we talked about as this pass is intercepted by Riley Payne. Maybe hold that thought. Payne going to come down with it. Bounce pass over to Busick. Busick in, kicks
Nice
it out
pass.
to Huber. Open three for Huber. No good. Busick did get the board. They're going to reset things. Olivia Manuel, she takes the three. Too strong off the backboard. And now they go back the other way. I was going to say, though, Grand Forks Central, they are using quite a few girls, like we said, but really mostly with those forwards and the center, they're pretty much leaving Myrold and Hillman in. They're not getting a lot of rest.
Yeah, that is very true. And going back earlier where I said about rushing shots, I feel like Shanley on that last possession took 3 shots that were a little unnecessary. Quick threes at top of the arc and in the corner. I think they had opportunity to set the ball up more and get an easier shot down low with Chrisman, which they've had opportunities early on with Payne down there when Chrisman was out.
Yeah, Haley, I'd have to agree with that. And it's funny, they were finding success with that 3-ball earlier on, but now it's gone a little cold, and they're just not having much luck there. So I think they're trying to break themselves out of that funk, but they just continue to
Another
miss.
steal there by touch by Chrisman, I believe it was, who poked it out initially.
Really nice defensive play, and now Kate Busick has it. She hands off to Manuel, who goes over to Huber. Huber in the near corner, goes to Chrisman. Inside intended for Payne, but again, Myrold maintaining those razor-sharp defensive instincts, gets the hand in there to break it up.
And that pass was just a little delayed. If she turned a little sooner and dished it down, that would have been an easy 2. But great defense there to get another hand in and poke that ball out, which they've done absolutely phenomenal at tonight.
Busick and Payne go back and forth with that one. Payne, great job getting the edge, driving in, got the shot off and was fouled. Looked like she might get the and one. Instead, she'll just be going to the line to shoot 2.
For her second time, I believe, tonight, I think.
I do believe you are correct.
See if she can put 2 in here.
And try number 1 is good for Payne. High arcing and nothing but net. Payne's second attempt, good as well. So she goes 2 for 2 on that trip.
I think she missed 1 from the line tonight.
3 for 4, I believe, is her current total. And Haley, Shanley certainly playing a good second half here, no doubt about it, but their offense has slowed down at least a little bit.
Seems they'd let off the gas a little bit and tried to run through the clock more, but they still are taking quite a few shots.
And in an update from the boys' game going on out of town in Grand Forks, it is 49-42 with 12:42 left to go. That's a 7-point lead for the Shanley boys. Again, they're up 49-42 with 12:42 to go. And a travel here is going to turn this ball over back to Shanley. So they'll get yet another try here. Try and get that offense going like they had it in the first.
And the delay there from Grand Forks on the defensive side.
Chrisman pops up the 2, can't get it to go.
Number 14, Olivia
And then we've got a foul on Manuel, her second.
See if Grand Forks can get something rolling here. Seems like Shanley's laid off the press a little bit, but
they don't really need to be pressing, as you saw right there. You know, they can go with the press and they can push the pace, and that's been working, but they've also done a good job just kind of sitting back and more waiting to counter Grand Forks Central, waiting to see what they do and then acting upon it as opposed to forcing the errors. Both are working for them, and that's good to see if you're Shanley, as Busick continues to try and rediscover her 3-point shot that she had earlier in the night, as Riley Payne is fouled once again underneath.
As we saw, Kate Busick pull up for her, I don't know, second or third time the second half and hasn't sunk. Just being there on the rebound like Riley Payne has and being down low and ready for that shot as she puts her first one in at the line. She's getting good looks, and she's getting fouls, so she's going to the line to get an easy two every once.
Payne's second attempt is good as well. So, again, has not been a typical Riley Payne night, but it's still been a very nice night by any player's standards. Yes. And tonight, she's doing her damage at the free throw line. That's the thing about Riley Payne. You don't know where she's going to get you from, but she usually gets you, and tonight it's at the line.
Another steal by Mattern.
Yep, bounce pass went straight into her arms. Kate Busick will bring it down court now, working along the near side. She goes across to Huber. Huber has a couple options. She goes into Chrisman. Chrisman's shot just off there. Takes a bounce out of the hoop. Payne keeping the pressure on here, but a good job evading it that time by Lohman.
Need a little more touch there from Chrisman.
So moving down with it, it's Myrold trying to cut between two Deacon defenders that time, but could not. Hadley Huber got the ball tied up. Now Riley Payne on the layup, and she gets it.
I believe that's Payne's first bucket of the second half here that was not from the line.
I think you're right, Haley, and it was a layup, but it wasn't too easy. She had a lot of pressure being put on from behind.
I thought it was going to be an N1 for a while there.
And now we got a tie-up and a jump ball.
Natalie Heinrich in for the Deacons.
So Heinrich will check in now for Shanley with 11:36 left to go. Quick inbound and shot does not fall. Lohman trying one straight away that time. That didn't go. Here's Lydia Mattern going across to Busick. Kate Busick out top to Mattern. Mattern fakes one inside, then goes to Heinrich all the way across to Busick, back to Mattern on the near wing. Hesitation generates space. Now she worked her way into a triple team, and a jump ball is called. So possession will stay with Shanley.
Lydia's got to pass that ball out, Mattern, to drive in and kick it right away. Be prepared.
Yeah, and that's often what she does. She really likes to use that little fake move from outside the arc to get inside, and then like you saw there, she'll stop and then reevaluate, see if she needs to just let one go, or usually she's looking for the pass. That time, though, she just got tied up, as now Grand Forks Central is able to force the turnover. Myrold looking for the screen from Giroux, wasn't getting it. Here's
Deep
the
shot.
three, no good off the rim from Foltz. But the board is pulled down by Grand Forks Central. Myrold corrals it out top. Heinrich all over her, and they do get Heinrich for the foul.
Reached in a little too much there initially.
Got
Tried to poke the ball out on top, as you can see in the replay here, right there.
Got her hand kind of on the
Once you
face
went
of
in.
Myrold, and that's one they're going to catch every time, yeah.
That's difficult, but you just got to play sound defense, sit low in your stance, and have your hands up and be ready.
So here's the inbound from Grand Forks Central. Giroux just gets that one over to Peck, and Peck.
Nice play.
Great bank shot in. Nice little layup from outside. And now Busick goes over to Mattern. Mattern fakes inside, then goes back to Busick. Busick, you can tell, I think she just wants a three. I think she's just looking to make one more three and then be done for the night, you know?
She is hesitating now. She's looking to shoot, but she doesn't know if she wants to right now. I think that those missed 2 or 3 she's had currently are kind of getting to her a little bit, but I think she'll sink one more here before the half.
Well, and that's the thing about a great shooter. They just keep shooting, you know, and
That's right.
They know that eventually they're going to find their stroke again, and the sooner the more you keep shooting, the sooner you're going to find your stroke. So
Are you kind of surprised at how long the starters have been in currently?
I really am, Haley. You know, it's a comfortable lead, certainly, for Shanley here, but they just keep rolling with this starting crew. And
Huber coming back in,
right.
And Mohawk Kim coming back in.
I think to a degree that's, them showing some respect here to Grand Forks Central. I think they definitely respect the game of the Knights. Don't want to let them back into this one. But yeah, the reason I'm so surprised, and I think the reason you are as well, is the injuries we saw in the first half, or the potential injuries to Huber and Payne. I think we probably thought they wouldn't play much because you're so close to tournament time.
Yep.
But Shanley, they clearly want these starters to get a lot of minutes, and that's one reason you want to do that. Riley Payne gets the 3, and that gets her, back on track. That's a confidence booster, so that's one of the arguments to leaving him in.
And let's see if she sinks a few more tonight. And she gets a pass intercepted there.
Coming straight back down with it. It is Riley Payne. 2 Knights right in her face and got caught for the travel. And you could kind of see that coming. She had Heinrich partially open, nobody to her left. And I think by the time she realized her situation, she shuffled the feet.
Far.
Yeah.
But that happens to everyone almost.
It does indeed, as Grand Forks Central looks to come back down with it. And that pass.
Another turnover.
Off the money. Bit of a miscommunication there. Ball intended for Lauren Hillman. With a little break, want to give a shout-out to Jordan Stroup tuning in to Shanley TV. Jordan, thank you for tuning in. Folks may remember her from the volleyball season. So thank you, Jordan, for watching. And, folks, if you're sitting at home watching, be sure to get in contact with us on social media. We'll try to give you a shout-out as Mo Hakeem gets the 2 points there. Relatively quiet night for Hakeem. Hasn't really had a chance to establish her game, Haley, with all the fouls and being pulled in and out.
That is true. And, you know, it goes back to just coming in and doing the best you can when you get time. And she's doing really good, as you can see in the middle there, keeping her hands up and ready there.
Drive along the baseline that time was not going to go for Sophia Rail. Got caught up and had it poked out of bounds. Last touch by the Knights, they will say. And so Kelly Chrisman checks in for Shanley here. So now, interestingly enough, it's Hakeem and Chrisman both in the game after most of this evening being spent without them. They'll play at the same time. So Shanley giving Grand Forks Central all sorts of new looks as Hakeem.
And there's the height advantage right there.
That's what she does, Haley. And when she gets a chance to establish her game, she really starts to do that more and more. Like I said, never really got a chance to get going in the first half. Now Grand Forks Central might be in some trouble inside.
I believe they might be, and I think rebounding is going to be a factor now. I think Shanley can pick that up quite a bit with Chrisman and Hakeem being in currently.
Hillman tries the 2 from long range, can't get it to fall. Here's Huber in transition, finds Mattern on the layup, and 1.
And then earlier today, we saw that, Mattern being able to take that contact and go up. She's just like Payne. She's not scared of contact. And Mattern, when she goes in, she drives into contact. She wants the contact to get that N1 foul. Fantastic job.
It's just bizarre. And, tonight has been particularly good, but it's bizarre how good she is at finishing those tough shots.
That is true.
She gets within 2-3 feet of the rim. Pretty much anything she throws up there is going in.
Very consistent.
And that's one of those qualities you really can't teach. That's what makes it so valuable. It's just something you either have or you don't.
And that's what makes her such a great off-the-bench player. When she comes in, she's that multi-tool on the court. She can pass. She can drive in, dish it out. And when she does drive in, she's not scared to take that shot. When there's quite a few girls there with their hands up and she's going to take some contact, she gets an N1 foul.
And so now with the timeout, Haley, you got to think Shanley's getting closer to playing a few of those, first reserve players, some of those girls who come off the bench a bit more, especially because they're thin with Shrema injured. That's just another reason, you've got like a usual starter here who's hurt. That's another reason to not really risk any of your other girls. Just a really bad time in the year to be losing girls to injury, especially after they've been relatively healthy all season.
Yes, and like what you said, being cautious of that right now. There's 8 minutes left. It's 66-18. Be prepared to rotate some girls in and be cautious of, Payne had an injury, Huber had an injury early on. Chrisman has been playing pretty well, but Hakeem and Chrisman both are in foul trouble.
So, coming back in out of the timeout, and timeout was taken before Mattern had an opportunity to shoot the free throw on the N1. So here is Mattern, and it's in and out, no good, but a whistle. And a foul straight away called on Manuel. That's her 3rd. And Shanley's 3rd of this second half. They've done a much better job in the foul department here. It wasn't a particularly a problem in the first half, but they've been even better about it here in the second. So now Myrold with Manuel all over her. Nice bounce pass, gets it away to Hillman. Hillman, hesitation,
and
got
foul.
it off to Jagger. Shot got up, did not fall, but Jagger will head to the line.
At the free throw line, number 41.
So Jagger, the senior, shooting 2, and Bailey Jagger actually the only senior on this varsity roster, Haley.
She is, and she's been playing pretty well tonight down low, being physical and boxing out, going up and getting rebounds. and being a terror on the defensive side, getting tip balls, which she's done really, really well from that backdoor cut that the Deacons have been running.
Well, and Haley, that really speaks to the youth of this Grand Forks Central team that she's the only senior on the squad.
And, you know, Shanley only has one senior on their squad as well. Natalie Heinrich, number 12, is the only senior for the Shanley Deacons currently this year.
As now you see the turnover committed by Shanley. Pass was just a little too far in front of Busick that time, so here go the Knights coming back down. It's Maddie Myrold. Myrold going to hand off to Hillman. Hillman attempting to get separation from Manuel. Got it back to Myrold. Now back out to Hillman. Hillman drives in, looking for someone to get it off to. Tip ball just found its way over that time to Rail. And now the Knights will reset with 10 seconds on the shot. Shot clock, I should say, as that shot goes up off the rim, no good. 66-19 our score, 7:23 to go, and Shanley's coming back the other way. Mattern out at the top of the key, not a lot of options. She's going to take it in, lets one go. For once, she misses in close to the net. Very tough shot, though, and she got her own rebound. Now she'll go out top to Busick. Busick, a crossover to Heinrich in the corner. Heinrich moving in, looking for two, just short off the front of the rim. Hakeem, rebound, put back, cannot get it to go, and the rebound is pulled down by Myrold. Excellent offensive rebounding by the Deacons, just unable to finish.
Busick still having that tough defense on top, though, being ready. Even though you're up quite a bit, being focused still and not getting up and keeping it on the gas is awesome.
And there's the difference Mo Hakeem makes, as she had the block and the steal on the other end, but coming right back down, it's Grand Forks Central as Shanley lost the ball in transition. Here's Rail driving, pulls up the free throw line, can't get it to go. Lydia Mattern gets the board and breaks through the press.
It appears Grand Forks Central on a second wind almost.
Mattern with speed coming in. Why not?
Just like that.
Lydia Mattern looked like she overran the basket that time, but once again, Haley, she's able to get the finish.
Yeah, and she goes in and she finishes so strong.
So here's Peck with the double team on her, trying to work her way out of it. Deacons do a good job locking her down. Able to get off to Hillman, though. Hillman found a seam, left open, and gets the finish. Lauren Hillman has done a lot of damage as a slashing type of guard here this evening.
And here come the JV in for the Deacons.
Yeah, mass subs, Haley. Certainly some of those fringe JV varsity reserve type of players. These are girls who could play minutes in big games later on in the season as a jump ball is called.
And it appears that Busick went into the side boards there and is limping right now.
And again, Haley, that's what we were talking about with getting some of those girls out of there. And
Mattern is currently limping after she was on the ground, and Busick.
So that's a bit of a cruel twist of fate there, as Shanley was just about to sub in all those girls. Right before that happens, a couple girls get shaken up. It doesn't look like anything major.
No, I think they'll be okay.
But it just goes to show some of those risks you assume when you keep playing those girls. So 68-21 our score. And now a new cast of Deacon girls out there and a new cast of girls out there for Central as well. A few new names. Here goes Lohman into the free throw line, but she's caught for the travel before she could get that inside.
And you know, one more player for the Deacons that has really good height and good awareness down low is Paige McAllister. So currently on the Deacons, they have 3 girls that are over that 5'11" or above range.
And Chrisman just below it, and a very strong player in the post as well.
She is.
So a lot of good options. Liz Dabber also, actually. You can make that 4 girls at the 5'11".
You could say 4, correct.
Either way, Shanley looking really crisp on the passing here as Hodel will pull up for 3. That's off the side of the rim. It won't go. Hodel, great job getting back on defense, though. Going to stick all the way with Giroux that time. Stayed with her, but nobody picked up Whiteside, and Isabella Whiteside gets the 2. Hodel, come back down court. Bounce pass over to McAllister. Now out to Dabber, then out top to Bars. McKenna Bars in the corner finds Hodel. Hodel now going to hold on to it. Looking to pull up inside. Couldn't find space. Thought about the 3. Cuts in. Gets it back out to Dabber. Shanley running out of time on the shot clock. Bars just going to take it herself. Absorbs some contact and drew the foul. And that's a great play by McKenna Bars, Haley.
When I look out there and I see McKenna Bars and Hodel play, both of them remind me of Olivia Manuel and Kate Busick. They are very fierce players. They're strong, great defensive players. And currently McKenna, the way she drove in and took that contact, looked like Lydia Mattern.
Very apt comparison there, Haley, as Bars' shot is no good off the back of the rim. She'll look to make it 1 for 2 on this trip. As the second shot is up and no good as well. So 0 for 2 that time, and Whiteside gets the board.
And a travel.
And another turnover for Central as Whiteside slips up that time, shuffles the feet a little bit along the baseline, and gives Shanley another try. Shot put up from a tough spot, does not fall. And so Shanley can't do anything with the turnover that time. But here goes Giroux down with it for Grand Forks. Giroux's ball
Hope
intended.
Wilson picks it up.
That time for Lohman.
Kicks it down to McAllister and puts it in for 2.
Assist by Wilson.
And like you said, Haley, Wilson to McAllister, that's a great play in transition, a great play off of the turnover. Here's Foltz now with it at the top of the key. Grace Foltz with Hodel across from her, trying to throw that one in to Giroux, but it was broken up partially, broken up nicely by Paige McAllister.
She had an opportunity to get a steal there. It slipped right through her hands and just kind of weaseled out.
Here's the inbound for GFC. That time Giroux opted for the bounce pass, trying to get it to Whiteside, and Liz Dabbert ties it up. Jump
Good job
ball.
by Dabbert to get her hand in there right away.
It is, and
Just
it's a
to
jump
grab
ball
around
going the
it.
way of Shanley. 3:43 remains now. As Hodel's at the top of the key, going over to Bars. Bars all the way across to Dabbert. Now Hodel looking to cut in,
Nice
found
pass.
Bars on the wing. Bars back to Hodel. The second unit here for Shanley's having a little more trouble getting penetration than that first team. Hodel, though, trying to say she doesn't need it with the three-point try. However, that one does not connect. And so Giroux comes back down with it. Bars, great job sticking on her, not giving her an inch that time, and able to swat the ball out of bounds. They'll stay with Grand Forks Central, though, with 22 seconds on the shot clock. Quick ball into Giroux. Haley Giroux, that is. Now she's tied up on the ground. Good job, able to get it away to Foltz. Foltz now out top. Found Lohman. Now back to Ashley Giroux on the near side. Giroux driving in with 3 Deacons right in front of her, and the ball rolls out of bounds.
The one thing that I like right now is the way that the Deacons are playing, even though it is their off-the-bench players. They're still playing physical, and they're still playing strong. It appears Central has rolled in all of their starters.
Yeah, they're sending them back out there for these last 3 minutes. And, you know, Haley, it's a pretty young group. Why not? Season's almost over here. May as well try and log as many minutes as you can
get
with
some
these
more time
girls
in.
as possible. They're coming back, pretty much all of them next year. So Dabbert now to Hodel on the far corner. Hodel,
Quick
tough
shot.
shot. Mid-range 2 does not go. GFC will take it back. And Myrold now with it.
Great season.
As we now have a
got a
special
pizza
delivery
from
from Mr. Rustad, the PA announcer here in McCormick Gymnasium. You may have heard him several times for those of you who tune in. Mr. Rustad, just what a guy, Haley.
What a guy.
Bringing
We got
a
hit
pizza.
with some foam balls tonight, and now we got a large spicy pie cheese pizza.
More than makes up for it. And, you know, for all the nice things people say to us, we really appreciate all of it.
Yes.
We appreciate everything everyone does. But I got to tell you, giving us a cheese pizza, that might be the best thing anyone's done for us, Haley.
That might be the best thing
That might
I've
be my
received
favorite
yet.
so far. Hey, so
Going
thank
back
you a
to the
lot,
game.
Mr. Rustad. Yeah, we'll get back to the game. Want to thank Mr. Rustad a lot, though, folks. You all know him as that great PA announcer, because that's what he is, one heck of an announcer here for Shanley, and coach of a great baseball team. As now that shot does not fall, but McKenna Barr is going to get a trip to the line. And I tell you what, McKenna Bars is a player who is going to be seeing a lot of time for Shanley in the near future, that's for sure.
McKenna Bars is such a multi-sport athlete. She ran track a few years ago, this last year, placed in state. Fantastic job.
Also worked her way onto the varsity squad in volleyball this season.
She did, yes.
She's really had a breakout year across all the sports she plays, Haley. You know, volleyball, she started off on the JV squad, worked her way onto the varsity bench
libero.
throughout the season, exactly, as a sophomore. And now, again, she's kind of doing the same thing with basketball, slowly moving her way up the ranks. As we do have an update from the boys basketball game, Shanley 76, GFC 59. That's a final score. So congrats to the boys basketball team for pulling off a nice win on the road. As the girls are looking to cap one off here at home, Hannah Hodel gets tied up, somehow recovers to get it, then gets out of the way of the ball as it heads out of bounds, and that's a good adjustment there by Hannah Hodel.
Good court awareness to see where the ball's coming at her and know where she's at. She was right on that red line. She just stepped 1 foot in and they got the ball back.
Hodel is a freshman, but you would not guess it based on the way she carries herself out there. Very calm, very put together.
Very composed.
Here's Hope Wilson now in the corner. She goes to McAllister. McAllister's ball intended that time for Bird, but just could not quite connect. It was a little tall. Inside, Hillman, and that's just what she does. That's what she's been doing all game.
Yeah, that Euro step
slashing
has been
and weaving in.
dangerous.
Exactly, Haley. She's got a lot of moves in her bag of tricks, and she's really pulled them all out here tonight.
And another foul for Grand Forks.
We'll send Hodel to the line. Almost in the double bonus now.
Jager with her second foul tonight.
And first try is good for Hodel. Again, that's why I'm saying a freshman, but just wouldn't guess it. Does not look phased at all.
No, she plays very, very well, and she's very composed out there. As you can see, she's not panicked at all.
And so, coming back down, it's GFC after the successful trip to the line for Hodel.
Less than a minute left in play.
Peck has this one at the top of the key, driving inside, had it knocked out of her hands, loose on the ground, gets back to it, throws one up that does not connect, and Hope Wilson has got the loose change, headed back the other way. Hodel gets control, crossing half court, working along the far side, spins around, trying to find someone to give it off to. It's McAllister, and then back out top to Wilson. Wilson inside, finding Dabbert. Dabbert scoops it up off the ground, but then had it knocked away, and Myrold's got it for GFC with 20 seconds to go, and the shot clock turned off. Myrold moving down court, great feed inside.
And a final turnover, it appears.
Able to find Hillman, but Hillman had it knocked away for the turnover, like you said. Shanley moving this ball back and forth. Across they go, and now it's loose on the ground. Referee's not going to blow the whistle there, just going to let the clock run out as the last second shot goes up. No good, and the buzzer sounds for the final score, 72-27 in favor of Shanley. A dominant win for the Deacons, and we got some final stats for you before we go. Kate Busick ended up leading the way for Shanley with 23. That was her finishing total, followed by Lydia Mattern and Riley Payne with 15 apiece, and then they were followed by Hadley Huber with 6. For Grand Forks Central, Lauren Hillman was the leader with 11, and then 3 girls tied behind her with 4. It was Peck, Myrold, and Whiteside. No surprises there for either team. All girls whose names we called a lot. And Haley, before we go here, tournament time coming around, your final thoughts on what will pretty much be the end of the season here for Grand Forks Central, it appears, and for Shanley, end of the regular season pretty much, and now moving into the tournament. What do you see for these two teams going forward?
I see that Shanley played a very even game. They played really well. Their defense was phenomenal. Their press was great. We had, like we said, Busick and Mattern going up there and playing awesome off the bench. The one area I think that work on is rebounding, but then again, they did fantastic night against a team that has phenomenal rebounders, like we said. And Central, fantastic seed in them. They came back out here tonight, and they did quite a good job out of that second half. Their second half was phenomenal comparatively to the way the first half was here and there, little things to improve on. They did a great job.
They did.
Good game tonight.
Yeah, it was. They did a good job keeping tight defense on Shanley. It was just in spurts where they kind of lost the handle, and Shanley was able to break through. But overall, young team Grand Forks Central is a pretty good showing for them. Certainly, they've got a lot to look forward to moving forward. That final score is 72-27, actually. They did well. They did not get to 63, though. That score is incorrect. 72-27, though, the final here. And just to wrap it up, our last broadcast of the winter sports season. We want to thank you for yet another great winter sports season. We got spring sports coming up for you. We'll have about a month, probably a little more with the way the snow's going. Spring sports are probably going to start late.
A little late start.
So we'll probably have about a month and a half of layoff. But folks, don't forget about us during the time off. We'll be back with softball and girls soccer for you later in the spring. So thank you for tuning in this winter and tonight. Want to thank our entire crew here tonight: Kate Busick, Braden Altringer, Alex Fettner. Haley, of course, obviously, thank you for being with me. And Mrs. Mack and Mr. Picard, thank you for being here. Also want to give one last Thank you here to Mr. Rustad again
the man
for bringing
tonight.
up the pizza, making Shanley TV the fans of the game. Just a great move. Really appreciate it, Mr. Rustad. And again, folks, thank you for tuning in this winter sports season. It has been a pleasure. But for Haley Buckles, for tonight, and for our entire crew, I'm Jed Thomas. Your final score from Fargo, Shanley Deacons 72, Grand Forks Central Knights 27. To watch the archive version of this entire game and our other broadcasts, go to ShanleyTV.com. The proceeding has been a presentation of Shanley TV.